actually exist.
Number 11.
No Photoshop effects here. Sarah McDaniel, aka Crotchy, really does have two different colored eyes. It's a genetic abnormality called heterochromia iridum, and it affects about 6 out of 1,000 people. Sarah's left eye is bright blue, while her right eye is hazel brown. It's also won Sarah unending loads of fame on the internet, as it almost immediately causes her to stand out from the overwhelming pack of gorgeous models. Being 5'10" and curved out in all the right places certainly doesn't hurt either. After conquering Snapchat and Instagram, on which she has almost 400,000 followers, Sarah was called up by Playboy, making her the face and body of their first non-nude issue in February of 2016. While I wish she appeared in Playboy a month earlier, Sarah's exotic features are still worth more than the price of the issue.
Number 10.
Some people will do anything within reason to look more attractive. Then there are others who go beyond. Pixie Fox made headlines in late 2015 when she had 6 ribs removed, all in the name of acquiring a 14-inch waist and looking like Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Pixie spent upwards of $119,000 on delicate plastic surgery that included 4 breast augmentations, facial improvements, and the ever-popular butt lift. The Swedish-born oddity is now the stuff Instagram is made for. But of course, internet fame alone won't do. The publicity machine went into full gear when Pixie appeared on the Romanian TV show Wow Biz to be filmed in the buff in a spa. Doctors have warned that rib removal could affect how her organs are aligned, but Pixie doesn't seem to care as long as she can fit into that super sexy corset.
Number 9.
Sean Ross broke the mold in 2007 when he became the first male albino pro model. The journey to get to that position was rough, as the Bronx, New York native was often teased and bullied in school for his physical appearance. Nevertheless, he pressed forward and took up an interest in dance. He spent 5 years at the prestigious Alvin Ailey School and showed off his routines on YouTube, where he was discovered by people in the fashion model industry. He's used his uniqueness to evolve in big ways, appearing in British GQ, Italian Vogue, ID magazine, and many publications. Not leaving his dancing behind, Sean's also appeared in several music videos. Sean became the face of the Ford Motor Company with the slogan, "Be Unique." I think we can agree it fits him to a T.
Number 8.
Ryan Hoven, better known as Tess Holliday, is another trailblazer who minds strength and self-empowerment out of what others might consider undesirable. As a teenager growing up in Los Angeles, Tess was routinely bullied for being overweight, even by her own father. Unable to take much more, Tess left school and set her sights on becoming a model on the advice of her mother, who became paralyzed after her own boyfriend shot her twice in the head. Standing only 5'5" and weighing well over 250 pounds, Tess beat the odds and was selected by women's retail chain Torrid to model their plus-size clothing. That snowballed into being the face of A&E's bodyweight-related TV series, Heavy. The calls kept coming. Domino's Dollhouse, Swag, and Nylon Magazine have all worked with her. Tess now calls herself a body-positive activist as an inspiration to plus-size women. She even has her own social media movement, F Your Body Standards, on Instagram.
Number 7.
When well-known photographer Tyrone LeBon was looking to snap someone entirely different, Mafi Gathorn Hardy became the answer to his prayers. Sure, she fit the necessary conventions of what a model should look like: height, beautiful skin tone, and bone structure, but there was one quirk about her that made her stand out. She has strabismus, or crossed eyes, a condition present in about 4% of children. Indeed, one of the countless things that schoolyard bullies used to eat students alive with turned out to be the silver lining for Mafi. When the 5'8" beauty made the cover of Pop magazine, the world practically fell in love with her. She was immediately signed by the legendary Storm Models agency, which boasts a roster that includes Kate Moss and Cindy Crawford. Mafi has been working steadily, disrupting people's thinking that successful models need to be flawless.
Number 6.
Daphne Self can work a photography shoot with the best of them. She has the hair, the high cheekbones, the piercing eyes, and a last name that's one letter short of being Selfie. The amazing thing is her sense of style and sex appeal hasn't left her, which is why she can still drape magazines all over the world at the ripe old age of 87, good enough for the world's oldest model. Daphne's age-defying swag is so bold, she courageously posed wearing a replica of Madonna's famous gold and black corset from her memorable 1990 Blonde Ambition tour. When Daphne first modeled, Harry Truman was president, and the Soviet Union had lifted the Berlin blockade. Nearly 70 years later, Daphne proudly shares that she's never underwent the knife or had Botox. If anything, the silver streak in her flowing hair has only added to her magnetism.
Number 5.
Since the age of 4, Winnie Harlow has had the condition vitiligo, which is characterized by portions of the skin losing pigment. Verbal abuse soon followed, and the Canadian child with Jamaican ancestry felt ostracized and depressed. It got so bad that as a teen, Winnie even thought of taking her own life. Fortunately, she made the decision to embrace herself and her condition. When YouTube personality Shannon Boodram saw pictures of her on Facebook, she asked to shoot Winnie in her music video, Natural Me. Since then, Winnie has worked in ads for Desidual and Diesel and appeared in magazines Glamour and Cosmopolitan. She's been on the show America's Top Model and most recently in Beyoncé's music video, Lemonade. When life gives you lemons.
Number 4.
Alex Minsky is someone who inspires two different kinds of people. On one end, he's a retired U.S. Marine who served his country while in Afghanistan. On the other end, he's helped the physically disabled feel more comfortable with their bodies by becoming a model. Back in 2009, Alex's Humvee was hit by a roadside bomb, and the damage resulted in Alex needing to have his right leg amputated. Things came to a head when he turned to alcohol from depression. Fortunately, a daily 4-hour physical workout helped rid Alex of his addiction. He caught the attention of a fashion photographer who was impressed by the soldier's matinee looks and his elaborate tattoos. Since then, Alex's body has graced everything from gay men's magazines to the ad campaign for the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. Most of all, he's become a one-man rallying cry for those tempted to quit it all.
Number 3.
Madeline Stewart shifting perspectives on beauty one photo shoot at a time. That's all because Madeline is a model with Down syndrome, the first and only model with this intellectual disability. At age 18, Madeline had calls from everywhere pouring in after people discovered her photos on Facebook. Soon after, she landed work with the handbag designer Evermea, who announced the arrival of a brand new line of handbags with Madeline's name on them. The Australian has strutted her stuff during the highly publicized New York Fashion Week and recently appeared in ads for bridal gowns by Ava Loren. Though there will be those who may get turned off, Madeline's mother says her daughter does not judge anyone and wishes she can be more like her in that regard.
Number 2.
Casey Legler is the woman who makes wearing men's clothes so cool that even the guys are taking tips from her. She's the first woman to sign a contract with the prestigious Ford agency as a male model. Born in France, Casey and her family moved to Florida, where she took up an interest in swimming and was good enough to compete in the 1996 Summer Olympics. Turns out Casey is something of a Renaissance woman. She is also an artist who studied architecture, received a scholarship for law school, and even attended medical school. The 6'2" Casey got the job as a female male model when a photographer friend asked her to take the role of a man in a shoot for Muse magazine. The photos from that shoot were given to a Ford modeling agent, and she was offered a contract to work as a male model the next day. And now for the number one model you won't believe exists. But first, I want to give a shout out to those who answered my last video's question. Question for you: what makes someone attractive?
Number 1.
Kanya Sesser is a fashion model who was born with no legs. Legs may be one of the many things we notice about a model, as they're usually tall. Kanya, who was adopted from a Thailand orphanage before moving to Portland, Oregon, started modeling as early as 15. Now, 24, Kanya earns a cool grand for a day of modeling lingerie. It doesn't stop there. Kanya enjoys surfing and skateboarding too. In fact, she prefers using a skateboard to get around as opposed to a wheelchair. Kanye wants to show the world that she doesn't need legs to feel sexy.